you cannot study the Quran on the subject of geopolitics and the end of history and how it's connected with Hagia Sophia, how it is connected with Constantinople, unless you adopt the proper methodology for the study of the Quran and for the study of the Quran as it pertains to the end of history. A pilot who is navigating a ship in the ocean, can he determine the direction to which the ship should be traveling by looking at one star? No, he cannot do that. And Allah has spoken to us in the Quran about proper methodology. Please be patient while I explain it one more time. It is Suratul Waqiyah of the Quran, and this is what Allah says, بَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ. And I take an oath by the mawakin, plural of makan. Mawakin, makan is place. The mawakin of the nujum, the places or the positions in which the stars are located. Allah takes an oath by that. وَإِنَّهُ لَقَسَّمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيمٌ. And Allah says this is not an ordinary oath or qasam. This is the mother of all oaths. What is it? The positions in which the stars are located. And then he goes on to say, إِنَّهُ لَقُرْآنٌ كَرِيمٌ, meaning that this subject of the positions in which the stars are located is connected with this subject, or the Quran. Quran means a recitation. Innahu laqur'anun kareem. This is a recitation which is noble. This is a recitation which is generous. If you are faithful to this Quran, if you study this Quran as it ought to be studied, then Allah will raise you. This Quran will raise you to a position of nobility, and this Quran will be generous to you. La yamassuhu illa fi kitabin maknoon. This Quran is located in a book which is protected, a book which is protected. La yamassuhu illa al-mutahharun. None can touch this Quran except those who are clean and pure in their hearts. Is this touch to be understood literally? Of course not. Anybody can touch the Quran. You don't have to be clean and pure, anybody. So it's not literal. It has to be interpreted. So what the Quran is saying is that insofar as penetrating the meaning, the wisdom, the knowledge of this Quran is concerned, none can penetrate it even to touch it unless you are faithful to the Quran, unless you are pure and clean internally in your relationship with the Quran and with Allah. And therefore, if in order to study the stars, you have to go to all the stars, and you have to see how the stars are interconnected with each other to be able to read the stars, the big picture. Similarly, you can't study the Quran by simply focusing on one verse. You have to go to the totality of verses. You have to realize and understand and discover how the verses are interconnected with each other. My teacher of blessed memory, Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari, rahimahullah, he said you have to discover the system of meaning. They don't teach this in any Darul Uloom or any Jamia today. This is a scholarship that we used to have long ago Now we've lost it, and we're making an attempt to revive this scholarship. You have to be able to locate the system of meaning, how the verses are interconnected with each other. Similarly, with the end of history, or AKHIR ZAMAN. You cannot study the end of history by focusing on one topic. No, you have to go to the totality of all the things that are connected with the end of history and see how they are interconnected with each other. That is scholarship. And so when we go to the Quran and geopolitics at the end of history, obviously this is not a subject for schoolboys who focus on only one part of the subject. This is a subject for scholarship, real scholarship, that will devote years and years and years to the subject to understand it. And understanding does not come only from the rational faculty. Understanding does not come only from logic and rationality. Understanding also comes from something. It's a lovely word in the English language. In Arabic, it's BASHIRAH. In English language, they put the word in front of the word sight, and they coin a new word, insight. And we say not just insight, but spiritual insight, that Allah places nur in the heart. And when someone sees with the nur of Allah, then that spiritual insight is what allows you to connect the dots. And so may Allah bless you, those of you who now listen carefully to what I'm saying, and who now want to study the Quran as it ought to be studied, and who realize it cannot be studied without proper methodology and without internal, intuitive, spiritual insight, basira. May Allah bless you with that nur. So when we come to the end of history and we seek the understanding from the Quran about the end of history, the first thing that we realize about the end of history is that a new civilization appears on the stage of the world. It came out of nowhere, and it quickly assumed a position of dominance. It has a power which none can stand up to. And it uses that power to spread itself out all over the world. وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ. They spread out all over the world. And they take control of power in the world, modern Western civilization. And this lecture is being delivered only to those who think. And may Allah bless you if you make the effort to think. Allah sent the Quran to people who think. And so today, I'm talking to you, not to the others. I'm talking to you who long for understanding, who thirst for knowledge, who hunger for truth. My lecture is for you.